I spent years living all the way in the box, afraid to step out, afraid to truly grab hold of my dream. And now I am breaking through, and I invite you to join me.
Your breakthrough starts now. Coming up on today's show, get ready to be inspired and transformed with our featured guests. Find out what's trending and get advice on life's daily challenges with Erica's top tips of the day. All of this and so much more coming up. So stay tuned. This is your one-stop shop for inspiration. The Erica Latrice Show. And now, here's your host, Erica.
Hello, good morning. I'm so excited about today's show because I'm sharing with you 7 things that you will want to take note of. And it's not just 7 random things, but today I want to talk to you about letting things go. Thinking about what is it that you're holding on to? Because a lot of times we can hold on to things and not realize that it can be detrimental to us down the line. So I'm breaking down 7 things. A huge welcome if you're watching live. I encourage you to join the conversation. All you got to do is comment. I'll be giving away something spectacular. If you have an idea, if you're looking to step out in business, or if you're already in business and you're looking for support, then you want to win today's prize. So just join the conversation. This is also a great time to share. I'm going to take a short break. And my question to you during this break is, have you ever felt like you were holding on to something? Or have you ever found yourself just in a time where the things that were surrounding you, the things that you were doing, weren't really feeling like they're serving you? If you've ever found yourself in that place, I'm giving you 7 things that you can do today or in the future if you ever find yourself back in that place. So don't go anywhere. And a special shout out to our sponsor for today's episode. I want to say a big thank you to Love Letters to My Girls. You can go to loveletterstomygirls.com to learn more about this incredible movement. I'll be right back. Birthed out of an idea for her own daughter, Dr. Sharita's vision has now turned into a movement. This wasn't just for her daughter, it was for other sisters and daughters around the world. The Love Letters to My Girls anthology is a book by Black women and girls, a collaboration of more than 100 women coming together to write letters to inspire, uplift, motivate, and empower the sisterhood. These stories bring you lessons and healing for those worn by their experiences as a Black woman in this world. Get your copy at loveletterstomygirls.com.
Get ready for all new episodes of the Erica Latrice Show. You can join me weekdays at 2 o'clock Eastern across social media at Erica Empowers. That's Erica spelled like America. If you have a message that you want to share on the show, email us right now at info@ericalatrice.com or visit online at ericalatrice.com/be on the show.
All right, welcome back. It is time for our top tips. And today I'm talking about 7 things that you definitely want to let go of, that you want to release if you're holding on to these things. And it's so important because as we navigate through life, it's easy to get excited about success. It's easy to get excited about our goals. But what's difficult at times is letting go of the obstacles that keep us from reaching it. So I'm going to jump straight in. Welcome if you are watching live. It's always a great time to comment. But like I said, we are talking about letting it go. And if you're wondering what we're letting go, number 1, the opinions of those who don't have the power to stop your vision. Letting go of the opinions of those who don't have the power to stop your vision. This is something that many of us can find ourselves trapped, stuck in the same cycles, scared to step out, scared to do anything because we're worried about who's going to have an opinion. And now let me tell you, one of the things that I realized is those that I was the most worried about, like, oh man, if I step out and do this, or if I say this, or if I do that, they're going to have a problem with it, or they're going to talk about me, or they're going to make fun of me, or insert whatever fear that comes up. But what you will find is that the people that aren't going to support you were never going to support you. So it will never be your goal to cater to people that have no intentions of being on board for your vision in the first place. So I want you to think about that. When you get ready to take leaps, when you think about the things that you desire to accomplish, are you allowing the opinions of others to stop you? So some of the myths that we have where we think, well, I'm not really listening to everyone else. I don't really care, what other people think. some of the signs of that, some of the ways that we know is that whenever you do get ready to step out, you're constantly asking for a second opinion, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh, a 10th. But I'm telling you, there are times when you have been given a vision and that vision is not for everyone else. So if you're waiting for everyone else to give you their opinion, if you're waiting for everyone else to give you their feedback, you can miss some incredible windows to start seeing things take place. So that's my first tip for you today. I really want you to think about, are you leaning too heavily on the opinions of others? And the second thing that I want you to think about today is, are you holding on to habits? Are you holding on to habits that aren't serving you? And the way that habits are, they can sneak up on us. I know that, goodness gracious, this year alone, I know a lot of people have had an interesting year for 2020. And we can start doing things, just one little tiny thing. There's a book called The Compound Effect. And this is just one of my favorite concepts because it really works. So in this book, The Compound Effect, it talks about how if you do anything, even if it's tiny, over time, it's going to build up. There will be a snowball effect. And eventually you will find that you're not where you started, whether it's good or bad, but doing those same things over and over can get you somewhere. And when I thought about this with this year, I know a lot of people have shared their feedback from the quarantine and how it's affected them, whether good or bad. I've seen people start new workout routines. I've seen people abandon old workout routines. But it's in those daily habits that you'll start to see that's where some of the biggest pieces of success in your life are. It's held by the daily habits that you have. So the second thing that I just want you to think about today is, what habits are you holding on to? And I have something called the 21-day Focus Fast. If you want to learn about that, it's at thefocusfast.com. And I started this journey with the 21-day Focus Fast because it was at a time where I literally could not focus on anything. And when you're in that place where you're not focused on anything, your day starts happening to you. And we never want to be in a place where our day is happening to us. We want to happen to our day. And that starts by creating and developing powerful habits. So that is the second tip that I have for you. I'm going to take a short break and I want to say a huge thank you. We have multiple sponsors on today's show. This next sponsor is a powerful virtual summit that you can be a part of. Tickets are free. It's called From Purpose to Profit. So if you are an entrepreneur, if you've been looking for resources, this has tons of resources, thousands of dollars actually, of free resources for you. So if you're watching right now, make sure that you go to this website, take a look at From Purpose to Profit. When I come back, I'm breaking down the next 5 things that you want to let go of. So if you're watching right now and you're ready to kickstart your day, you're ready to start seeing things happen in your life, do me a huge favor, just hit share and comment below. And then also take a look at this and go to From Purpose to Profit, FromPurposeToProfit.com. I'll be right back.
Let your light shine at the upcoming From Purpose to Profit Virtual Summit. This event is going to help you uncover your calling and create a purpose-driven business. Hosted by Clestine, the Purpose Coach. With more than 20 templates and 28 speakers for 14 days, you will receive more than $4,000 worth of resources. God has a plan for you, so get ready for your divine destiny. Register today at FromPurposeToProfit.com.
If you're watching this, so are your potential clients. I'm excited to announce an all-new season of The Erica Latrice Show. It's coming up right now, and we're looking for featured guests as well as sponsors. If you want to be a success supporter of this show, connect with our team right now by emailing info@ericalatrice.com to get more information or just support the mission of Be Inspired, to empower and inspire people all around the world with a message of hope and encouragement. Our mission is to bring you uplifting news and talk to encourage and share a platform for those who have a powerful message and looking for a place to share it. If you want to partner with the Erica Latrice Show, you can do so by emailing info@ericalatrice.com or visit ericalatrice.com/sponsor so that you can be a success supporter of this inspirational movement.
Welcome back. All right. So I'm talking about 7 things, actually. I've shared a few, but 7 things that will hold you back when it comes to you insert whatever you're looking to do. Success when it comes to seeing things take place, when it comes to getting out of that place of comfort and finally seeing those results. So the third thing that I want to share with you today, and this is yet another thing that gets in the way of us really stepping out. Woo! If I had dollars for every time someone shares with me an idea but doesn't follow it up with action. Ideas without actions will keep us stuck. Now, this is something that, again, I hear a lot. I get to hear a lot of people's goals. It's a really fun thing that I do. I speak, I do media, I do marketing, and I get to work with people around the world, literally, that are entrepreneurs, that are visionaries. But one of the things that pains me the most, and I know how it feels to be in this place, is when we have all of these ideas. You know, one day I'm going to do this. Someday I'm going to do this. And just you wait, when this comes about. But what I would encourage you to do today, if you've had all these ideas, pick one. And you might be wondering, okay, how do I even choose one? How do I narrow it down? How can I really make it happen? When you're focused on too many things, more often than not, nothing gets done. When you're looking at, imagine having just several projects in front of you or several plants in front of you, and you really need to water them equally. But if you have thousands of plants, you can't, unless you have machinery, something is going to get neglected. But if you can just focus on the growth of that one, when it becomes strong, you can then put your attention on other things. And so I want you to think about that. If you're someone that has a lot of ideas, one of the most powerful things that you can do with those ideas is start taking action. As tempting as it is to sit around and talk about what might become and what's going to happen, we're not promised years from now. We're not promised decades from now. And so each day is a day to start maximizing what's in your hands. And I'm kind of jumping ahead, but one of the things that I would encourage you to do today, again, if you have an idea, ask yourself this question. Of all the things that I'm thinking to do, of all the things that I desire to do, what one thing could open the door for everything else? What one thing have you thought about doing that could open the door for everything else? Because when you can figure out that one thing and you can pour yourself into it and you can water that one thing and you can grow it, it's more than likely going to increase everything else in your life. And it's so disheartening to me because I'll hear people, they'll tell me like, I have this great idea. I'm going to open up, insert business, insert idea. And years pass, and I connect with that same person and they're telling me that same story. Man, one day or now they pick something else. And I never want that to be you. If there was anything that I could have someone tell me years ago, it would have been, don't quit. Definitely don't worry about the opinions of others, like I said, but start taking immediate action. Don't put it off. Don't hesitate. When you have an idea, when you have a vision, that's the best time for you to start taking action on it. So that is the third thing that I want to share with you today. And number 4 that I want you to think about is this feeling that you've missed your opportunity and that is too late. The feeling that you've missed your opportunity and that is too late will keep you stuck. Because if you still have breath in your body, and I say this all the time because I mean it, if you still have breath in your body, God is not done with you. And if you're still holding on to things that didn't work out before, or you're still looking at what hasn't come to pass yet, then you will forever be stuck in a cycle. And I will never forget this event that I attended, or actually it was my event. I was going to say that I attended. And it was all about growth. And we did this illustration of seeds because many of us felt like we had mistakes. I know I did. And we wrote down those things that felt like mistakes. We felt like they were missed opportunities. They were things that just didn't work out. And as we started looking at these mistakes, these seeds, we realized that had it not been for those things that felt like a mistake, that felt like a setback, there are certain lessons that we wouldn't have learned, and there are certain opportunities that are now available to us that we would have missed out. So my question to you, join the conversation if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay. My question to you is this: has there been a mistake in your life? Has there been something that you've gone through and you felt like because of that thing, now you're canceled out, or now you're never going to be great, or now you're never going to be able to accomplish what you hope to accomplish? Today, I just want to just cancel out that lie. I know people in their 60s, people in their 70s that have just started new businesses, people who have gone through so many things and they're just now stepping out and still having fruit from it. So anything that you've gone through, any mistake that you've made, any setback that you've experienced was literally setting you up for this moment. It was setting you up for this time, for you to start seeing things take place. So I just encourage you right now, just think about that question. I'm going to take a short break. And during that break, I want you to think about this. What's one mistake or one mishap that you've experienced, but it opened the door for something better? What's one mistake? What's one mishap that you've experienced? And now looking back, it's opened the door for something greater. Answer that question. You got about 20 seconds to answer it. If you want to join the conversation, I will be doing a giveaway for today's episode. And that's all you got to do is join the conversation. I'll be right back.
Get your copy of my all-new book, Finished, where you can transform your life and get projects done in as little as 7 days. Go to ericalatrice.com.
All right, welcome back. So I'm jumping in. We are at number 5. And these are 7 things that you would want to let go of. 7 things that you want. I was going to say that you would want, tongue twister, but that you want to. There's no would in it. Like, let it go. So number 5, this is holding on to what's okay instead of freeing yourself up for the great. Holding on to the things that feel okay. They're good for now, but it's blocking you from receiving what's great. There was a demonstration that a speaker did once, and they held something in their hand. And while holding that thing in their hand, they demonstrated the fact that if someone were trying to throw something new to them, if someone were trying to give them something new, their hands weren't free to receive it. And oftentimes when we feel like we're about to miss out on something, or we hold on to these things that are just okay, there's something even greater coming for us, but we can't receive it if we're not willing to let go of those things that aren't serving us. Now, this is a whole entire message. There are so many things that can be inserted into this demonstration: relationships, opportunities, jobs, thoughts, mindset. There are so many things that we hold on to and we don't want to let go because it feels comfortable. But staying in that place of comfort can literally be blocking you from receiving what it is that you've been called to receive. So if I had to turn that into like 3, I'll say actually 4 questions that you can ask yourself. If you're holding on to something and you're trying to figure out, is this something that I need to let go of? The first question, and this was life-changing for me when I started clearing things out of my life that weren't a good fit years ago. The first question is, if you had to do it over again, would you re-enter into this situation, this relationship, this job, this task, this organization, whatever it is that you're holding on to? If you had to do it over again, would you redo it? If your answer is no, it may be a sign, and it might be the time for you to start revisiting and consider letting that go, because it more than likely, anything that you're holding on to that's not serving you is blocking you from what's really available to you. The second question that I would ask myself, or I would encourage you to ask yourself as well when it comes to letting things go, is this adding to my life or is it subtracting? Is this adding to my life or is this subtracting? And I'm not by any means saying that life is just going to be, lollipops and gumdrops and you're never going to experience trials and setbacks. But anytime that you're holding on to something that's draining you, that's sucking the life out of you, it's not working out for your good. I can guarantee you that when we're holding on to those things, it can cost us years. It can cost us so much, especially when it's something that's an energy drainer. So that's the second question that I would encourage you to ask yourself. Is it adding to me or is it subtracting from me? The third question that I would encourage you to ask yourself is, what would happen if you let this thing go? If you were to let this relationship go, or let this job go, or let whatever it is that just feels okay, but it's not the great for you, what would happen? Because sometimes we hold on to things because we're afraid that, if I let it go, it's never going to be as good as this, or I'm never going to get anything better. And I can tell you from experience, there are things I imagine myself in my head, like that tree hugger, you're chained to it and you're holding on to it. And there's something so amazing down the line. And if we can't wrap our minds around those seasons, those times to let things go, I'm telling you, it's going to block more than you even realize. It can cost you delay. It can cost you necessary relationships. It can cost you time. And this is something that I've shared often, but I'm telling you right now, if you have people around you that love you, people that you love, and you're entertaining things that aren't suited for you, you're entertaining things that are taking your energy and draining you, you will miss out on those people. And when I look back on the time that I spent with my mom, who has now passed away, it reminds me of every significant moment that I had with her. And then I think about some moments that I could have had with her, but I was spending those moments doing other things. And these are those eye-opening times where you have to ask yourself, was it worth it? Am I spending my time? Am I spending my energy? Am I spending my efforts on those things that are going to grow me? Or am I just holding on to stuff because it's comfortable? So that's the next question that I would encourage you to ask. And I just have two more. So number 6, the 6th thing that I would encourage you to think about letting go is living in the past or the future and not living in each day. Living in the past, living in the future, but never living for today. And I would encourage you to think about this. There's a book that I love. It's called Stop Worrying and Start Living Life. And it's by Dale Carnegie. And in this book, he talks about a concept of daytime compartments, day-type compartments. Because a lot of times when we're thinking about what went wrong already or what could possibly go wrong, it robs us of the presence. It robs us of what we have control over. It robs us of what we can do right now. And in fact, when we're robbed of those things, we can't maximize each day. So I would encourage you to think about this too. If you find yourself overwhelmed, if you find yourself thinking too much about the past or thinking too much about what's to come, good or bad, honestly, sometimes we can get so wrapped up in the future, we can get so wrapped up in what could come that we neglect everything that's available to us right now. So thinking about that, letting go of the past, not overwhelming yourself about the future. If you were to release those two things, what would your focus be today? What would your focus be on for the right now, for the right here, and for everything that you have available to you? In fact, that's my next question for you. What's your focus each day and how could you line up with it? Because when you're not focused on each day, you miss the opportunity to maximize what's in your hands. When you're not focused on each day, it will cause you to start looking at what's outside of you. And so there are a few things when I think about this that really drive this point home, maximizing what's in your hands. It's this idea sometimes that down the line, that's when we're going to do things, or when everything comes together, or when I get the $1 million, or when I get the better home, or I get the better vehicle, or the better relationship. So we hold off on doing what we need to do today, waiting for those things to happen down the line. But when I think about maximizing what's in your hands, what I want you to be reminded of today is that it's by doing these things today. It's by taking action today. It's by maximizing what you have today that's going to open the door for what's next. Sometimes we try to skip ahead and we want to know, like, what's step 20? What's step 15? But usually step 2 is going to come to you just by taking step 1. So speaking of all these steps, I'm going to do a quick recap for my final thoughts today. So if you're just joining, stick around. We're going to take a short break. My question to you is, what have you held on to that has brought you more pain than strength? That is you're holding on to it, but it's toxic for you. Answer that question for me if you're watching right now live. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, I'm doing a recap of 7 things that you want to release if you're serious about seeing things happen in your life, if you're serious about seeing success in your life. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. For you to soar, if you're ready to step out, I'm telling you, you can transform your life in 21 days by taking the 21-day Focus Fast, and you can get that at thefocusfast.com. All right, so I'm going to break this down. These are 7 things for my final thoughts for you today. 7 things that you want to release, and we're going to do a backwards countdown. So number 7, not maximizing what's in your hands. Not maximizing what's in your hands. When you're focused on everything that's outside of you, it will cause you to miss out on the things that are readily available to you. So the question that I would encourage you to think about today is there anything that you're waiting before you take action? Is there anything that you're hoping for something more to come before you maximize it? If your answer is yes to that question, then I'm encouraging you right now to maximize and take inventory of what you have right now. Number 6, living in the past or the future and not living in each day. Living in the past or the future and not living in each day. And again, my book recommendation for you today is if you've felt stressed, if you felt worried, read Stop Worrying and Start Living Life. There's this concept there that talks about daytime compartments. And when we take our minds off of those things in the future that we don't have control over right now, and those things in the past that we can't do anything about, I promise you things will shift so incredibly when you start looking at how can you show up today? How can you show up right now? Because those other things are out of your hands. Number 5, holding on to what's okay instead of freeing yourself up for the great. Too often we cling tight, we hold on, we just squeeze those things that aren't serving us because we feel like that's as good as it's ever going to get. And I tell you, it is an entire lie. That is not as good as it's going to get. If you're in a situation, especially if you're in a toxic situation, and you're just hanging on to things because you think something better cannot come for you, I'm telling you right now, that is just not the truth. There's so much better for you. When you take leaps of faith, when you don't downplay the abilities that you have, and you don't apologize for desiring more and wanting to see more and be more. So think about that right now. Number 4, before we get to that one, number 4 is thinking that you missed your opportunity and that it's too late. Thinking that you missed your opportunity and that's too late. And like I said, I know people in their 60s and their 70s that are just starting ventures. You probably know someone that started something weeks ago and they've now seen success in that area. So when we feel like we've missed an opportunity, that's blocking us from moving forward. And each day is a new beginning. Every day is a fresh start. So think about how you can wake up each day and start fresh without overwhelming yourself by the missed opportunities, because mistakes and missed opportunities are simply feedback. And the sooner we grab onto those things and start maximizing them, so much more can come for us. Number 3, ideas without actions. If you're holding on to ideas, but you never take action, this is something that will guaranteed keep you stuck. So think about what small action can you take? And it doesn't have to be 1,000 things. Usually it's just one small step. Because like I said, that one step 1 opens up the door to step 2. Step 2 opens up the door to step 3. So think about what's that one step that you can take today towards that idea and move it beyond just the idea phase. Number 2 is that habits that aren't serving you will keep you stuck. Holding on to habits that aren't helping you, habits that are keeping you stuck, habits that are keeping you overwhelmed, and habits that, even if they seem small, over time, they're going to build up to something bigger. So if there was ever a time to start swapping your habits, today is that time. What is that one small habit that you can embrace right now? What's that one thing that you can start doing and replacing those other habits with? I'm encouraging you right now to replace it and let it go, because that's some of the biggest shifts that you'll see take place in your life. And again, that's another book recommendation for all my readers out there, The Compound Effect, because it talks about how those small habits will snowball into the bigger results. And number 1, the opinions of those who don't have the power to stop your vision. Holding on to the opinions of those who don't have the power to stop your vision will keep you stuck. And signs of this is when we're constantly looking to other people for validation. We're constantly looking to other people for permission. And while you're waiting for permission, you could honestly just be building momentum. While you're waiting for permission, you could be lining up that action with those ideas, and so many more doors would be opening for you. So those are 7 things that I'm encouraging you today to grab hold of. What are 7 things that are keeping you stuck? Those are those things I really believe, and I know firsthand from not just my life, from the lives of many others, that it will keep you in the same place, circling the same mountains. And I don't want anyone watching today to feel stuck circling mountains. So I hope that this message encouraged you. Again, I just want to say a big thank you to our sponsors for today's episode. You can go to loveletterstomygirls.com to be a part of that incredible movement. It's a new anthology by over 100 powerhouse Black women and young girls. And that book was written for Black women and young girls who are looking to overcome and be healed through life lessons of others. So that's loveletterstomygirls.com. And from profit to purpose. From purpose to profit. That's such a tongue twister. From purpose to profit.com. That is a free virtual summit. Right now, you can get thousands of dollars worth of trainings, worth of templates, worth of resources at from purpose to profit.com. So go check out both of our sponsors for today. If this message encouraged you, tell someone, tag a trailblazer. You can stay connected with me across social media at Erica Empowers. And as I'm always telling you, go out and make today, not tomorrow, not next week. Go out and make today amazing, because it is absolutely a choice. Take care, and thank you for watching.
For more inspiration, visit us online at ericalatrice.com.